Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. President Rodrigo Duterte warned of a little crisis if Congress compels Presidential Security Group personnel to divulge details about their vaccination. This after the PSG received vaccination against COVID-19, even if there are still no approved COVID-19 vaccines in the country. Our Malacanang senior correspondent, Jen Cabiling, has the details.
President Duterte has appealed to Congress not to tinker with the Presidential Security Group and force its personnel to testify against their will, defending the recent vaccination against the coronavirus was a matter of self-preservation. Although he denied he was trying to cover up the action of his close-in security team, the president warned of a little crisis if the PSG personnel will be compelled to divulge details about their vaccination. Duterte said he would direct the PSG not to appear in the hearing if the lawmakers insist on meddling in its affairs.
And I would like to call on Congress na hindi naman ako nakikiusap. Ang ano ko lang, diretso na salita na do not tinker with the PSG. I'm telling you, as President, is a matter of self-preservation. So hanggang dyan na lang ako, I will not elaborate on it. But do not force my hand to meddle into this affair because maybe I'm not so keen about allowing Durante and the rest of the PSG to testify.
If the PSG personnel are called to testify in Congress, Duterte said he would tell them to just shut up and invoke the right against self-incrimination. Duterte also warned against citing the PSG in contempt and detaining them if they ignore the inquiry. If any PSG member is detained, Duterte said he would go to Congress and free his security personnel.
I will just tell them because they are now being accused and with the accompanying statement of prosecution and things like that. And then if that is the case, then I would ask the PSG to just shut up. Do not answer. Invoke the right against self-incrimination. At wala kayong makukuha. And do not force my soldiers to testify against their will. At huwag ninyong contempt na i-detain ninyo. I do not think it will be good for you and for me. It would not be healthy for everybody.
The Senate will launch an investigation into the government's vaccination plan next week. Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon had earlier proposed that the head of the PSG should be invited to shed light on the unauthorized use of COVID vaccine of the security personnel. Before Drilon's proposal, Durante confirmed that the PSG personnel received the coronavirus vaccine in line with its mission to protect the president. The vaccines were administered to the PSG troopers despite the lack of regulatory approval from local authorities. For MB Now, this is Janeline Cabiling reporting.
President Duterte also gave his support for the use of saliva-based coronavirus testing in the country. This is due to its lower cost and high accuracy rate. It also provides faster results compared to RT-PCR testing. Once again, here's our Malacanang senior correspondent, Jen Cabiling, for the details.
President Duterte is amenable to the use of saliva-based coronavirus testing in the country due to its high accuracy rate. The president mentioned the low-cost and fast saliva test for coronavirus as an alternative diagnostic test during the meeting with several government officials on the pandemic response in Davao City Monday night. Gordon, chairman of the Philippine Red Cross, had earlier proposed the possible COVID saliva testing in a bid to reduce the cost of the diagnostic tests in the country. He expressed hope that the Red Cross application for the use of such a test, which was made last October, will be acted upon by local health authorities. He said other countries have started to use the saliva test for COVID and has shown 99.9% accuracy in detecting the virus. The saliva test kit reportedly costs less and provides faster results compared to its predecessors like the polymerase chain reaction testing, which is currently being used in the country. On Monday, the palace called on the Food and Drug Administration to speed up the evaluation of the possible use of the rapid COVID saliva test in the country. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque said such test would lower the cost of COVID testing for Filipinos. At present, the government allows the PCR testing, considered the gold standard, as well as the rapid antigen test to detect coronavirus in people.
Pero may bago daw, sabi naman ito ni Gordon, na ang swabbing sa saliva is 99%. O di, yan ang gagamitin natin.
For MB Now, this is Jeneline Cabiling reporting.
The Department of Health has urged local government units to properly coordinate with the national government to be able to deploy effectively COVID-19 vaccines in the country. This is to pool the funds for the vaccine so that the national government will be in charge of procuring the products for an effective distribution system. Our correspondent, Hannah Tabios, tells us more.
As some local government officials gear up for their vaccination activities, the Department of Health urged them to rather coordinate with the national government to effectively manage the deployment of vaccines in the country. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere clarified during a virtual press briefing that the national government is only authorized to procure vaccines given emergency use authorization by the Food and Drug Administration. The Health Undersecretary also noted that the National Immunization Program rests on the mandate of the DOH despite the individual efforts of the local chief executives to help contain the spread of the deadly virus in their localities.
Unang-una kasi, yung emergency use authority na ibibigay ng Food and Drug Administration dito sa mga manufacturers ng bakuna, ang pwede palang bumili niyan ay national government kasi EUA pa lang siya. Nagiging available lang sa market ang isang produkto kapag meron na siyang Certificate of Product Registration. At hindi pa mabibigyan itong mga bakunang ito ng CPR kasi hindi pa naman talaga effectively or technically tapos yung kanilang clinical trials. Hanggang trial 3 pa lang yung mga yan. Meron lang tayong mga exemptions sa ngayon because of this public health emergency.
Vergere then encouraged local government units to work with the national government to pool the funds for the vaccine so that the national government will be in charge of procuring the products for an effective distribution system.
So by saying that, ang local governments ay hinihikayat ng national government to work with us because we can pool the funds and the national government can procure and we can have an effective distribution system. So ito po yung ating kinakausap ngayon sa ating mga local government so that we can have a unified effort at hindi tayo magkaroon ng technicalities and also we can be able to monitor as well. And we have to remember the National Immunization Program rests on the mandate of the Department of Health. So hopefully the local governments will work with us. We can assure the local governments that based on the prioritization list, kasama po kayo lahat dito sa ating mga listahan based dun sa mga priorities na na-spell out or naging officially declared na.
So far, the local governments of Manila, Makati, Pasig, San Juan, and some outside Metro Manila have already announced their procurement plans for the COVID-19 vaccines. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. had earlier said that the American biotechnology company Moderna is accelerating a huge shipment of COVID-19 vaccines to the Philippines. American drug maker Pfizer has also submitted its application for EUA of its COVID-19 vaccine to the Philippines December last year. For MB Now, this is Hannah Tabios reporting.
Only 1 out of 4 Metro Manila respondents are willing to get themselves vaccinated against the coronavirus disease should vaccines be made available in the country. A survey conducted by the Octa research team showed. In Octa's tugon ng masa survey results, released Tuesday, it was revealed that only 25% of the respondents in the National Capital Region expressed willingness to get the COVID-19 vaccine if it's available. Of these respondents, Octa said that 29% are from socioeconomic class ABC, while 24% are from class D and 27% from class E. The remaining 75%, meanwhile, are either uncertain or unwilling to get vaccinated. Almost half, or 47% of the respondents, have indicated that they are still unable to decide whether or not to get vaccinated, 52% of which belonged to Class ABC, 48% to Class D, and 42% to Class E. On the other hand, 28% of the respondents said they would not get the vaccine. 31% of those from Class E, 28% are from Class D, and 19% from Class ABC. Octa, an independent research group that has been monitoring the COVID-19 outbreak in the Philippines, said the non-commissioned poll was conducted in Metro Manila from December 9 to 13 through face-to-face interviews among 600 respondents aged 18 and above. In Metro News, Caloocan City to allocate 125 million pesos and plans to borrow 1 billion pesos for COVID-19 vaccines. Mayor Isko urges devotees to worship the Black Nazarene from home. And Mayor Vico cautions netizens against fake news and quotes. More from this report.
The Caloocan City government on Monday announced that it will earmark a budget of 125 million pesos to procure COVID-19 vaccines to be distributed to residents of the city. Caloocan Mayor Oscar Oca Malapitan said they will also borrow an additional fund of 1 billion pesos to ensure that each resident of the city receives a free vaccine. The Caloocan Mayor said they have been in talks with multinational pharmaceutical companies such as Pfizer and AstraZeneca, but they will wait for which vaccine will secure the Food and Drug Administration's or FDA's approval. Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Dumagoso called on devotees of the Black Nazarene to practice their faith at home to prevent risking their lives to the COVID-19. Despite the cancellation of the annual Traslacion on January 9, thousands of devotees are still visiting the minor basilica of the Black Nazarene in Quiapo, Manila. Facials and face masks are also distributed to devotees inside Quiapo Church to ensure their safety. Dumagoso said to Manileños to not put to waste the 10 months of struggle by helping the local government in holding the event safely. Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto on Monday cautioned netizens against fake news and fake quotes circulating on social media. In a tweet, Soto urged the public to be vigilant as disinformation remains rampant online. Soto made the warning after a graphic supposedly quoting him on who to vote for in the next elections made rounds on Facebook.
Now here are the top news in other parts of the country. Rebels killed in Rizal confirmed by authorities as assassins. Red tag peasant activists killed in Bohol. And Caraga region records more COVID-19 recoveries. Details in this report.
The Department of Interior and Local Government confirmed on Tuesday that the 5 CPP, NPA, NDF members killed in a shootout in Barangay San Juan, Baras, Rizal last month were part of the NPA death squad deployed in southern Luzon on orders of CPP founder Joma Sison. In a statement, the DILG noted that the fatalities were tapped to assassinate top national and local government leaders, including police and military officers, over blood debts. DILG Secretary Eduardo M. Año said that the PNP and the AFP will do their best to protect the people from these terrorists in sheep's clothing. He added that the government will crush these urban terrorist cells before they can begin their reign of terror. A peasant activist was shot dead by unknown motorcycle-riding gunmen in Balilihan, Bohol last December 30, a human rights group said on Tuesday. According to the Central Visayas chapter of Karapatan, the victim was identified as Lorenzo Dodoy Panya, a resident of Barangay Bantolinao in Antequera town. Panya was killed while he was on his way to bring lunch to his son working at a construction site near his residence. He sustained 6 gunshot wounds on his body. In a statement, Karapatan strongly condemned the killing and said that Panya was a victim of red tagging and subjected to various harassment and threats by state forces before his death. Panya was among the 305 farmers and peasant leaders who were killed since 2016. The northeastern Mindanao or Caraga region has already recorded 4,113 recoveries from the coronavirus disease since March 2020. The DOH attributed the region's high recovery rate to the high percentage of asymptomatic or mild patients, while the rest are severe and critical cases. To date, Caraga region has 428 active cases, while 213 patients have died due to complications, mostly senior citizens and persons with comorbidities.
In world news, Greece tops 5,000 COVID-19 deaths according to their health agency. Australian lives and homes at risk as fire nears Perth. And US man randomly gets vaccine while grocery shopping. Let's watch this report.
Greece on Monday announced that the coronavirus death toll had exceeded 5,000 people, days after the government was accused of vaccinating too many state officials instead of health staff. The government last week said it was postponing dozens of symbolic vaccinations of the state officials following complaints that health workers and other elderly were not being given adequate priority. Government Deputy Spokesperson Aristotelia Peloni told Parapolitica Radio that over 60 officials had received jobs and remainder will be vaccinated when their turn comes. Prime Minister Kyria Mitsotakis faced criticism after relaxing lockdown restrictions for retail and churches over Christmas. An out-of-control bushfire threatened lives and homes in Australia's west coast city of Perth Monday, with locals told to shelter in place from toxic fumes. Residents in several suburbs south of Perth have been warned to be on watch as around 150 firefighters battled a blaze which has razed more than 230 hectares since Saturday. The fire razed more than 24 million hectares of drought-stricken bushland and forest across Australia in late 2019 and early 2020. Killing more than 30 people and destroying thousands of homes. It is not known what triggered the fire. A Washington law student ended up getting more than just groceries during a recent supermarket trip after randomly receiving a COVID-19 vaccination. David Macmillan and his friends were at the giant food store in the U.S. Capitol last week, were surprised when a worker in the supermarket pharmacy section offered them each a shot. Macmillan posted a recording of him getting the shot on TikTok, where it has been viewed more than 700,000 times on the short-form video sharing platform as of Monday.
In entertainment, following reports that Bond girl and Charlie's Angels star Tanya Roberts was dead, a representative to the actress confirmed that the Hollywood star is still alive, although she remains in critical condition. This was confirmed by Roberts' representative Mike Pingle on January 4. He explained that the news spread after he talked to Roberts' distraught partner Lance O'Brien Sunday afternoon. O'Brien mistakenly told Pingle that his wife had passed. Roberts is in the intensive care unit of Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles after suffering a fall in her home on Christmas Eve. In sports, Calvin Abueva's exemplary conduct in his return from an indefinite suspension did not go without notice after being nominated for the Samboy Lim Sportsmanship Award. The Phoenix Super LPG star was one of 5 players named Tuesday as candidates for the said honor that will be handed out in the virtual PBA Awards night set January 17. Reigning 3-time winner Gabe Norwood of Rain or Shine and Lex's Kevin Alas, Barangay Ginebra San Miguel's Scotty Thompson, and Terra Firma's CJ Perez were the other players in consideration for the award named after PBA great Samboy Lim. Putting Abueva's name in the award that pays tribute to the player that showed true sportsmanship may be new for many, given his past brush-ins that prompted PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall to suspend him for 16 months. But Abueva kept showing composure while avoiding heated exchanges with rival foes, even going a further length of helping them get up whenever they are down on the floor. Marshall even praised Abueva for his improvement, which translated into his strong play in the recent bubble at the Angeles University Foundation Sports and Cultural Center. Abueva is also a nominee for the Best Player of the Conference Award and the Mythical Five selection. And those are the news on Web today, January 5, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow or log on to www.mb.com.ph. You may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.